The Journeys of Francine Diaz and Seth Fedelin, a timeline of two converging paths. Long before their names were mentioned together, Francine and Seth were simply two young dreamers pursuing the spotlight in an industry that often challenges both talent and heart. Francine's journey began early, bright, disciplined, and quietly resilient. She shouldered responsibility gracefully, taking on roles that demanded maturity far beyond her age. Each performance honed her. Each challenge forged her into someone audiences couldn't ignore. On the other hand, Seth's path unfolded at a quieter pace. He possessed a gentle demeanor, an inner calm that intrigued people. He wasn't loud, but he was always present. And when the opportunity finally came his way, he seized it with determination, slowly establishing his place in the world Francine had begun to master. The first meeting. Their timelines eventually intersected, not by chance but by design, two rising stars bound together by a project that would alter the trajectory of their careers. Initially, it was professional work. They memorized lines, rehearsed scenes, and the cameras started rolling. But somewhere between takes, something subtle began to form. It wasn't instant chemistry in the loud, cinematic sense. It was quieter. It was comfort, a shared understanding. A kind of comfort that needed no attention but grew stronger the less you tried to define it. The development of the bond. As days turned into weeks and projects became milestones, their bond deepened, not just as co-stars but as two individuals facing the same pressures. They understood the exhaustion of long filming days. They recognized the unspoken weight of expectations. They became, in many ways, reflections of each other. Fans began to notice. What started as mere admiration transformed into something much greater, a collective fascination with their naturalness in each other's company. Their laughter off camera, their quiet support in interviews, the sincerity with which they spoke of each other, it all felt undeniably genuine. And with that, a new chapter was written, not just Francine and Seth, but Francine and Seth together. The spotlight and the challenges. But with the attention came the pressure. Rumors surfaced, speculation spread, every interaction was scrutinized, every silence questioned. For two young people still discovering themselves, this could have been overwhelming. However, instead of letting the noise define them, they chose something else. Steadfastness. They weren't in a hurry to name their relationship. They weren't acting for recognition. They allowed their bond to exist in its own space, undefined, yet undeniable. And that restraint became one of the strongest parts of their story. A relationship that transcended all stereotypes. Over time, what made their relationship inspiring wasn't whether it fit into a particular genre, but how it reflected maturity. They supported each other's success without competing. They celebrated milestones together without overshadowing the other. They stood their ground even as their fame skyrocketed. Their relationship no longer revolved around the question, are they a couple? But rather, how can two people grow together without losing themselves? And in that sense, their story became bigger than romantic love. It became a story of collaboration. Where does the timeline lead? Today, their journey continues, not a fixed story, but an evolving one. Perhaps they remain close friends. Perhaps they become something more. Or perhaps their paths will eventually diverge as their individual dreams expand. But the important thing isn't the destination. It's the timeline, two individuals who met at the right time. People who help each other grow in an industry that rarely slows down. People who showed that connection doesn't always need definition to be meaningful. The inspiration behind Francine Diaz and Seth Fedelin's story is striking not because it answers questions, but because it opens up space for possibilities. It reminds people that not every relationship needs a label to be authentic. Growth is more important than expectations. The right people won't pressure you on your journey, they'll walk alongside you. And sometimes, the most beautiful stories are the ones that are still being written. Here are some of the most memorable milestones in Francine Diaz and Seth Fedelin's journey. Before meeting, they had different relationships. Seth had a real-life relationship with Andrea Brillantes, his former on-screen co-star. Francine and Seth were both part of the same group, Gold Squad, but were paired with other people. They were first paired in January 2022, Seth was spotted at Francine's family gathering, sparking dating rumors. This sparked much speculation and backlash, especially concerning previous couples. But both sides deny any romantic relationship. And this wasn't a smooth start, it was a chaotic, high-pressure one, which shaped their caution afterward. While preparing for the film Dirty Linen from 2022 to early 2023, both stated that they were just getting to know each other. Their pairing, Fran-Seth, officially began as an on-screen couple. During their time working together on Dirty Linen, they said their relationship became stronger and more open. But they are still publicly described as friends, though becoming increasingly close. Fans noticed their natural chemistry developing further. This was the point where their relationship transitioned from awkwardness to genuine connection. From 2024, Francine and Seth acknowledged the possibility of their relationship developing in the future, and affirmed that they were in the getting to know each other stage but were closer than before. Communication and time spent together increased. In 2025, Seth publicly stated that he had feelings for Francine, and they even went on dates. They discussed their relationship privately and even talked about a roadmap. This is the first time they have softened the just friends narrative. But they haven't been officially labeled and aren't in a hurry to move into a relationship. They built a solid emotional foundation, a rare occurrence for acting couples. Most famous couples have milestones like, from the first project to the confession to the dating. Fran-Seth's milestones look like this. Arguments to building trust to being honest about feelings to still being undecided. That's why their journey feels slower, more realistic, but also more uncertain. In short, the most important milestones in Fran-Seth's story aren't the shocking confessions, but the subtle shifts, from strangers to trusted partners. From rejection to openness. From rumors to acknowledgement of feelings. And most notably, even after all these milestones, they never rushed to define the relationship. Would you support them becoming a couple? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to the Celebrity Love channel so you don't miss the latest videos. Thank you, and have a great day.